pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg. Funeral service for Ruth White Kilpatrick, age 91 of Childersburg, is today at 2 o'clock from Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, with the Reverend Rodney Frost officiating. Visitation noon until 2 at the funeral home. Burial in the old Childersburg Cemetery. Ms. Kilpatrick died February 23rd in Raleigh, North Carolina. The family will accept flowers or memorial contribution can be made to the building fund for the Center Hill United Methodist Church, where Mrs. Kilpatrick was a longtime member. Online condolences at curtisonfh.com, Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing. Sean Green, age 50 of Sylacauga, died February 25th. Graveside service Saturday at 2 o'clock from Winterboro Baptist Church Cemetery, with Otis Graves officiating. Online condolences at ursrefuneralhome.com. In lieu of flowers, you may make donations to the Ribbons of Hope, Ursary Funeral Home, Talladega, directing. Graveside service for Betty Lois Gardner Stockdale, age 78, is today at 3 o'clock from Evergreen Cemetery, with the Reverend Joe Kelly officiating. Mrs. Stockdale died Tuesday, February 27th at her residence. Visitation is today 1 until 3 o'clock at the funeral home. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at raddysmith.com, Raddy Smith Funeral Home, directing. Altha Mae Campbell, age 85 of Sylacauga, died March 1st at her residence. Raddy Smith Funeral Home announcing. Funeral service for Donald C. Edwards, age 83 of Vincent, will be Saturday at 2 from Calvary Baptist Church in Vincent, with Pastor David Matthews officiating. Burial in the Vincent City Cemetery. Mr. Edwards died February 28th at his residence. Visitation today 4 until 9 o'clock at Calvary Baptist Church in Vincent. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at raddysmith.com, Raddy Smith Funeral Home, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Yvonne Andrews Watkins, age 79 of Alexander City, is this morning at 11 from Victory Baptist Church, with Reverend Bobby Bates, the Reverend Braxton Baker, Dr. Rick Worthy, the Reverend Eddie Pierce, and the Reverend Chris Fuller officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. Mrs. Watkins died Tuesday at her residence. She was a member of the Victory Baptist Church, where she taught Sunday school for many years. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at raddayfuneralhome.com, Radday Funeral Home in Alexander City, in charge of the arrangements. Funeral service for Mr. Johnny Howard Spivey, age 66 of Alexander City, is today at 1:30 from Early Rose Baptist Church in Alexander City, with burial in the Armours Memorial Garden. Armours Memorial Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. Funeral service for Mrs. Bertie Jane P. Smith, age 71, is today at 11 o'clock from Radley Funeral Home, with the Reverend Raymond Long officiating. Burial in the Garden of Love Cemetery. Mrs. Smith died Monday at Brookwood Medical Center. She was a member of the New Salem Baptist Church. Memorial messages may be sent to the family at raddyfuneralhome.com, Raddy Funeral Home, Alexander City, directing. Gary Blade Runner Chapman, age 55, died March 1st. Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, Talladega, will announce the arrangements. Funeral service for Mr. Harris Kirkland, age 87, is Saturday, March 3rd at Harper Spring Baptist Church in Sylacauga at 1 o'clock. The Reverend James O. Blackman officiating. Burial in the Harper Spring Cemetery in Sylacauga. Visitation today, 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. at the funeral home. Mr. Kirkland died February 28th at his residence in Sylacauga. Online condolences at communityfuneralhome.org, Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, directing. Graveside service for Landon Harvey Welch, age 3 months, will be Saturday, March 3rd, 2 o'clock from Midway Memory Gardens Funeral Home Chapel, with Pastor Barbara Embry officiating. Burial in the Midway Memory Garden Cemetery. Landon Welch died Friday, February 23rd at his residence. The family will receive friends Saturday from noon until 1:45 at the funeral home. Midway Memory Gardens Funeral Home, Talladega, in charge of the arrangements. These obituaries, a presentation of Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. 256-245-4361 for pre-need funerals, burials, or cremation since 1975. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Sylacauga, Childersburg.